Hey everybody, happy truck month. It's March, which is truck month. I guess Ford truck month actually starts in February, but most of the truck months start in March. I've had an amazing week. We are at war, apparently. It's been raining a lot, so my front yard feels like a waterbed. I haven't been on a waterbed since I was like 4. And I remember, I think we were visiting my mom's old coworker's house in Massachusetts, and she had a waterbed and she let us jump on it, which seems like a terrible idea. But they had a fun house full of Barney VHSs and wall-to-wall carpeting, and it was that style that I can't figure out. I can't figure out what this style of house is, a style of architecture. I've tried to Google it before. I should probably try again. It's this style from the mid 80s, I would say, around the mid 80s I don't know why I think in the woods, but it feels like a modern log cabin or ski lodge. Super slanted roofs, usually just one side, like one slant, and then the other side is straight. Skylights. The windows and the skylights are usually really long, narrow rectangles that are vertical. And a lot of wood. What other details are there? I haven't been inside many of them, but when I was little, I just thought that that was the ideal. That was the modern house. And I was so excited to be inside of one that had a water bed. Another update for you. I forgot to include what I ate last week on Sunday. I stopped the episode early. I stopped on Saturday after going to Peddler's Steakhouse. So I will be including last Sunday in today's episode. Speaking of Peddler's Steakhouse, I forgot to tell you about a conversation I overheard while I was waiting for the chilled salad plates to be restocked at the salad bar so I could enjoy my canned pickled ingredients. There was a table of, I didn't want to look at them, but I could hear them. There was a table of Americans explaining to what I assume were non-Americans based on what he was saying to them. He was trying to tell them that everybody pronounces McDonald's wrong and that it should be pronounced McDonald's. Some people say McDonald's around here. Brian says McDonald's to make fun of the people from around here, which includes him. But not even his mother says McDonald's, who has one of the craziest accents I've ever heard. She says, turn the TV on. Was the movie Gone Girl? She would probably say Gone Girl. Gone Girl. She doesn't say McDonald's. Maybe she does. I don't know. I'll have to ask. She picked up one of my sisters at the airport the last time she visited and brought her a McDonald's sausage biscuit and a Coke. So I have to ask her what her pronunciation of McDonald's was. My sister didn't want them. I don't think she ate them. So the dog ended up eating 2 sausage biscuits that morning. McDonald's is the funnier of the 2 possible pronunciations that I've heard so far, so I think we should slowly start changing the way we say McDonald's. I think McDonald's is funnier. Okay, I have an inventory update, kitchen inventory update. I have told you about my cutting board woes a little bit. Got some weird cutting boards for Christmas. Very brat of me to complain about the Christmas gifts that I received. But you are ingesting stuff from your cutting board, so I think it is fair to want to have some control over what they are. I finally got rid of this OXO plastic cutting board that I had. It was the only small cutting board that I had, which is why I kept it around for so long. I also kept it around for so long because I saw people I saw professional food people using it, and I thought, well, I guess it's okay. It also had these rubber end caps that helped prevent the board from slipping, which was nice. It's not necessary. The best restaurant trick that I learned was get a towel, sprinkle some water on it, or run it under the faucet real quick, wring it out, put that down, then put your wooden board on top of that, and it won't slip. So there are ways around plastic. Anyway, I was like, let me get rid of this plastic cutting board and get a small wood cutting board. I have a booze block, and I was like, I'll get a smaller version of that. I like this booze block. I've had it for almost 8 years now. It's stood up to the test of time, even though I don't take care of it properly. There's some damage from Brian hacking bones on it. Animal bones, not people bones. And this new one that I ordered, I think it's maple. It's a square. It's maybe about an inch thick. It feels like they sent it to me directly from the sawmill. And I still need to sandblast it, or I need to sand it in some way. It's like, it's so rough. And it's only rough one way, but it's too rough. It's not a finished product. And I thought, well, let me buy some mineral oil and like finish it and actually take care of my cutting board the right way. I have mineral oiled this thing. I've used half a bottle of mineral oil on it, and it's still rough. I feel like if you're paying for a premium product, you shouldn't have to sand it when it arrives to your house. And I don't know if it's like the type of wood that I got or what, but I'm curious if other people are like getting products from booze that they need to use sandpaper on. I used the other half of the mineral oil on my old booze block, which is huge. It's huge. It's so thick. It's probably 2 inches thick. It has the lip in it to catch the liquid, or not the lip, like the indentation ring to catch liquid. I got it as a gift when I worked at Numero Group from one of the people on the synchronization team who made much more money than I did, and I helped her out a lot. So she would get me Christmas gifts, and she engraved it. It says Savory Caroline on it. And I thought it was so stupid. I was like, what does that mean? And I finally realized that it was a play on Sweet Caroline. Okay, let me move on from complaining about products. My sisters have some glowing product recommendations that they've shared with me. One of my sisters tried the Reese's Oreo product, which I think is a new product. She said it was good. I don't even remember what it's like. I mean, I haven't eaten it. Let me just... Reese's Oreo. Googling that. I don't know how to describe it. I mean, it looks like a Reese's cup that has cookie pieces in it, and then half of it is chocolate and half of it is white chocolate. Okay. She says it's good. I think it reminds me of the Parent Trap remake. I don't think they do this in the original. In the Parent Trap remake, Lindsay Lohan and Lindsay Lohan are at camp together, and one of them is eating peanut butter on Oreos and shows the other, Lindsay Lohan, and she thinks it's disgusting. And at least in elementary school, when this movie came out, you had to say, ew, that's disgusting, in order to fit in. And I think the tides are turning and people are opening their minds to this combo. Another product review is I sent an assortment of sour candy from the hated Shane's Confectionery in Philadelphia, hated by me. I decided to give them another shot. I needed to send my sister something for her birthday. And I was like, let me just try it. I have some faith in this place. I sent her an assortment of sour candy. I don't think they make any of these candies, so I thought it would be a safer bet. She's only tried one of the sour candy bags that I sent her. Celestial Sours. You need to get up. My cat is on the counter. You need to get off. Okay, they're called Marich, M-A-R-I-C-H. I looked up the brand, Celestial Sours. My sister says that they are, well, I don't have my phone. Actually, I do need my phone. Let me pause. Okay, she says, thicker and more tender than Sour Patch. Very sour too. I like that review. I think you know how disappointed I was by Swedish candy. It was not nearly sour enough for me. So these Celestial Sours, first of all, they're cute. They're chubby little shapes, moons and stars and planets and suns, clouds. The flavors include tangerine, lemon, blue raspberry, cherry. They're pectin gummies, so they are vegan friendly. What else? I've seen them listed a couple different places. One of them had natural food colors. Well, it looks like this one has artificial colors and flavors. So I don't know where I was looking before. But I'm considering ordering them. Especially after the reports. I don't know if you've been seeing these like Nerd and Sour Patch Kid and general candy reports where they all have a ton of arsenic and metals in them. So, I mean, these probably are full of lead as well, but whatever. Okay, I'm getting into my scent reviews. I reluctantly Swiffered the floors. Here's the thing. Here's a product update. My Dyson vacuum, which I've had for about 10 years now, is going to shit. And I hate using it. I've been sweeping and then Swiffering. I ran out of Swiffer pads and I ordered new ones. Here's the thing. There were Swiffer cleaning products in this house when I moved in. I never would have purchased them. I don't like them. I don't like commercial cleaning products because I feel my body growing cancer cells when I inhale the chemicals. And Brian kept buying the pads and insisting that we Swiffer the house. I said, you can Swiffer the house if I'm outside of the house because I'm not getting stuck in a house and breathing it in. I don't know why I did this, but I ordered more Swiffer pads. And Swiffer the house one day after work, Brian came home from work. He opened the door and said, "Why does it smell like Appletinis in here?" I thought the same thing. It smelled like green apple, like a green apple Jolly Rancher. And Swiffer products have always smelled weird and bad, but never so green apple than they do this time around. Why does it smell like an apple martini? Why did Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin name their daughter Apple Martin when it is one letter away from being apple martini? Just like last episode, when I purchased Brooklyn Beckham's hot sauce without knowing it, I need to do more research on the products before I purchase them. I'm being a dumb consumer. And now I have a package of Appletini-Scented Swiffer pads that I'm going to be using. I've tried alternatives. I have like cleaning strength vinegar and other products that I use. And I've tried spraying down paper towels and then attaching that to the Swiffer wand. And it just doesn't work the same as a Swiffer pad, which feels like a wet diaper. So that was my first scent review. Let's move into some good scent reviews. I sampled the Maison Margiela Jazz Club. Let's click through to the official description, which is quite lengthy. $170. It does not say how much that is, though, how many ounces. 3.4 ounces for $170. Okay. Fragrance description. Well, first of all, the bottle. Provenance and period, Brooklyn 2013. I thought this was spot on before I even read the bottle. Fragrance and description, heady cocktails and cigars. Style description, memory and a fragrance. So it seems that these Maison Margiela perfumes are supposed to be replicas of a moment. It's called Replica. And then the sub-name is Jazz Club. Replica Jazz Club, I guess. I think that's what's going on. I never knew that Margiela did scents. I only knew her as a clothing person. I used to have a really good 80s Margiela dress that was like, I always forget the name. What's the waist where it's a V down like over your pubic bone, like very like princess. It's coming back into style, or like the last 10 years that it's come back into style. I forget. But it was like anyway, I never could fit into it, even at my thinnest, and I had to give it away. I had to sell it. So sad. Okay. Replica Jazz Club evokes the exhilarating atmosphere of a private club where the music and the scent of cocktails permeate late into the night. The elegant smoky scent of cigars fills the room as you enjoy the warmth of rich whiskey, cognac, or rum. The tradition has been immortalized over the generations. Shut up. Blah, blah, blah. Piano, double bass, saxophone. The Jazz Club fragrance by Maison Margiela captures the elegant bouquet of premium cigars in a mix of tobacco leaf, absolute, and pink pepper. The heady eau de toilette recreates the exquisite and rich aromas of cocktails with notes of vanilla beans and rub absolute. The rich, woody, and smoky notes of the Jazz Club fragrance captivates the masculine and exhilarating ambiance of a confidential jazz club. The warmer notes make Jazz Club an ideal fragrance for the autumn or winter season and a great date night fragrance. Blah, blah, blah. Notes. Jazz Club conveys two sensations: the elegant smoky scent of cigars and the exquisite aromas of a glass of amber rum. Top notes: pink pepper essence. Aromatic freshness, fusing spiciness, reinforces the smoky effect of tobacco leaf absolute, recreating the sensation of burning cigars. Pink pepper also brings vibrations to the fragrance, reproducing the exhilarated atmosphere of a jazz club. Primo fiore, lemon oil, neroli oil, those are the top notes. Middle notes: rum absolute, clary sage oil, Java vetiver oil. What is Java vetiver? It's from Java. Base notes: styrax resin, tobacco leaf absolute, vanilla beans, CO2. Okay. So here's my review. Smoky, but not in a gross liquid smoke flavoring way. Layered, odd vanilla note. Exciting. Made me think of going to a dark bar that I've never been to in my 20s. Brooklyn 2013 was spot on. Deep, dark, and rich, but in a youthful way, not in a way in which it smells like the elderly. The vanilla needs to go. Slowly, over the course of 5 or 6 hours, fades to reveal a neroli and fresher layer. This was fun. This was nice. I'm on the fence. I would maybe buy a very small bottle for the winter if I was going out. I think this would be a good one to wear to a holiday party, a work holiday party, any holiday party. I thought it was great. Okay, I wore my sample of Le Labo Ambrette out to the Sinking Strip Mall Steakhouse. So I initially shied away from this scent because it was a little sweet, I thought, but also I saw it described, I think on Reddit or somewhere, as a scent made for women who had just had a baby, which, I don't know, something about that, like when I would put it on, I would like feel two in my body and be like, I suddenly felt heavier like I've never even had a baby, but all of a sudden I felt like I was in a postpartum body and very unhappy. Very strong psychological torment. But I'm trying to move away from this and embrace it. It's sweet but musky at the same time. Again, Le Labo scents are more interesting to me than anything else I'm finding in the wild. And this is a good scent. A little too sweet, and I can't really get past the whole this is for someone who just had a baby and is maybe upset with their body or something. I don't know why I gravitate. That's just maybe the fear that I'm projecting onto that time in someone's life. But I don't want to think about that. So I don't know if I could wear that scent. Okay, so I wore my sample of Le Labo Thé Noir on a cold, windy day when I had to go to the office. You know, it was actually a nice winter smell. It does smell a little bit like gasoline, sort of like the Bay 19, B-A-I-E, Bay 19, which I'm also on the fence about. It's dry juniper berry, patchouli, green leaves. This is the official description that I'm reading. All soaked by a beautiful, luminous, magnetic rain after a long drought. Okay. So Thé Noir starts off with that, whatever that gasoline smell is. And also, why is Le Labo naming all of their scents with a number? It's giving Blink 182 or a bistro. I'm Chengdu 7. All the restaurants that I go to have It feels like it's coming back. Like it died for a while and it's coming back, and people are putting numbers on the end of things. For Le Labo, like a product having a number at the end feels a little bit more like you're ordering off a menu. It's like, yeah, I'll get the number 3. And you're making the employee's life easier by saying, yeah, I'll get the number 3 instead of stumbling through whatever it's called. So I'll give Le Labo that. It does feel like a product SKU or like you're picking off a menu. When the name of something has a number at the end, like a band or a restaurant, I'm out. Generally, I'm out. I was just listening to the Maggie Winters episode of Stradiolab where she talks about a restaurant near her that just opened that's called #Halstead, I think. It's a street name in Chicago, #something. That's what it feels like. It feels like a super dated reference. It also reminds me of Bussin' Pizza and Pasta, which I will talk about later in the episode. It's near me. I'm going to read you the official description of Thé Noir. Thé Noir 29, combines depth and freshness, softness and strength through the permanent oscillation between the light of bergamot, fig, and bay leaves and the depth of cedarwood, vetiver, and musk. A special extraction of black tea leaves wraps up the composition by bringing to the formula a dry, leafy, hay tobacco feeling in the dry down to transform this creation into a sensuous and addictive essence. I don't know about that. I could take it or leave it. All right, let's move on to things that happen on the internet. Okay. Everybody is talking about how Hannah from Ballerina Farm is having a 9th child. They are saying, wow, what a freak. But let's look at it in another light. Maybe she's actually trying to be nice by replacing all of the humans that have passed away from consuming her raw milk products. This could be written into Utah milk law and we just don't know it. Maybe Utah milk law says, yeah, you can sell raw milk. Just make sure every time someone dies, you replace them with a kid. And the Mormons are like, okay, we were going to do that anyway. It's laws written by Mormons for Mormons. That's my theory on that. Let's talk about some restaurants. Hot Dog Alley. Hot Dog Alley came to me from the TikTok algorithm. There was some young, hot guy in an old car driving through this island. What island are we on? St. Simon's Island. And he went to some like ice cream place. It was like I don't know, like their local version of a Dairy Queen. And I looked around this island and I was like, oh my God, it's beautiful. I found Hot Dog Alley, which all these places are sort of reminding me when I lived in Greenpoint. I just looked it up and it's closed. But when I lived in Greenpoint, I would go to this place around the corner from my house. I think I lived on Huron Street. And if you know the Greenpoint streets, they're alphabetical. So it was sort of north. Lived on Huron. On the end of my block was a laundromat where you could drop off your laundry. It was a mother and a daughter, I think. And they also sold hot dogs and other frozen treats. They had their version of a Dairy Queen inside the laundromat and empanadas, I think. So Hot Dog Alley is on St. Simon's Island. It has 4.6 stars. And it's sort of like a ice cream counter situation. $2.50 for a hot dog. They also have sausages, smoked spicy or brat, all kinds of toppings. They have a potato salad, chili dog, roast beef sandwich, BLT. It just looks like a fabulous place to go on an island. Okay, bussin' pizza and pasta. Now, bussin' pizza and pasta is a funny name to me because, I don't know, like 3 or 4 years ago, everybody was saying bussin'. Songs were coming out titled bussin'. And then I just started watching, well, I remember I've seen a few episodes with my mom growing up, but I watched the first ever season of Real Housewives of Atlanta last week. And maybe in the second or third episode, they're saying the word bussin'. They're throwing the word bussin' around. So only in the last few years did bussin' come into popular culture. And I would say that's when this restaurant came about, riding the bussin' wave. And, it's over now, but this restaurant is still called Bussin' Pizza and Pasta. Actually, that's not true. They did change their name, but they didn't remove the bussin'. It's called Bussin' Pizza and Italian Kitchen. 4.6 stars. They do like a New York style pizza and pasta. A lot of mixed reviews. I think NC State students are going there. It looks okay. They have fries. I mean, I hate to say it, but it actually does look bussin'. And they do have garlic rolls. Garlic knots. Which I've had to explain to a lot of people down here. They're ubiquitous up north, but people down here do not know what garlic knots are, which is sad. Here's a review from the Bussin' Pizza and Italian Kitchen, Bussin' Pizza and Italian Kitchen review. Quote, meat was not sausage, but Euro meat on pizzas and in the soup. That was a bad review. I would probably give that 4 or 5 stars, but it is strange. Let's move on over to Hector's Deli, which I believe also came to me from the TikTok algorithm. It is a sandwich shop. It has 4.6 stars. It's in Richmond, Australia. And really what caught my attention about this place is I do say that people outside of the United States do not know how to make sandwiches. Australia is proving that wrong. These sandwiches are bussin'. And what really caught my attention was the bread. They do square donuts as well. That's nice. It's the video that I saw is this food influencer. I don't know his name, but he's like a kind of a young kid who travels and eats food and everything is the best thing he's ever eaten and it's annoying. But they make this bread. I'm scrolling through the photos trying to find it. Why are they not featuring this fabulous bread? It's like the Italian seeded bread that you find, but it's like accordion shaped. Well, it's like a ciabatta shape, but with ridges on the outside. I don't know how they do that. And I don't know why it's not featured, but it was in the video and it was gorgeous. So anyway, it looks like they're doing some good stuff and making bread. Let's talk about Casey's Buffet. Casey's Buffet, 4.4 stars on Google. Sprawling, no-frills stop with a buffet spread of barbecue, fried chicken, and sides for lunch and dinner. It's in Wilmington, North Carolina. So this is pretty accessible to me. I've gone to some good, like, drive-up places in at the beach down there where they put a tray on your car window. And the workers are mean to you. That's where I want to eat. Updates from customers 2 years ago. Food was hot and really good. Okay. What's popular? Sweet potato casserole, chicken biryani, pulled pork, mac and cheese, greens, monkey bread. I love a monkey bread. I will never forget the first time I had monkey bread. My aunt made it when we were visiting her in Marietta, Georgia, outside of Atlanta. And wow, really knocked my socks off. Buffet sampler platter. Okay. This looks like it could be really good. Chicken specials. Box deals. You can get clam strips, shrimp gizzards. Okay. Some good reviews. Ooh, banana pudding, chitlins, cobbler, lima beans, rutabaga. I think that the video that I saw on TikTok was they were saying this is a really good spot for dessert. Which I believe. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to buffets to eat desserts. Maybe some people are. Okay, thank you for that. I have a follow-up about the Maggie Winters Stradiolab episode, which is called Burger King. Really good. This also ties in with bus and pizza and pasta in the restaurant. Okay, so they're talking about slang, Gen Z slang, chopped, unk. And I do love chopped. Unk is confusing to me, but here's the thing. I did work at UNC. I technically work at a different subsidiary now, but I worked at UNC for a few years, and which spells unk. So obviously all day long on my computer, I was typing unk, UNC. All day long. And so my TikTok algorithm thought that I wanted to see videos of people saying unk. And so the unk thing has been around for a little bit now. I don't really get it. I think chopped is better. But I wonder if other people who go to UNC or work at UNC are also experiencing this and are being pushed unk content constantly. Okay, another restaurant. Well, it's a town. Just like last time, I think we did Hillsville, Virginia. We're doing Red Lion, Pennsylvania, which came to me from my Google Analytics for Journal. Anytime someone comes on from like a town I've never heard of, I do want to see what's going on there, especially restaurant-wise. A restaurant will tell you a lot about what's going on in a town. Red Lion, Pennsylvania. It's sort of near Philly. So they have a place called The Hub. I'm going to click through to The Hub. Well, here's the thing. Like, Red Lion is surrounded by like 4 other towns, and it was very confusing. They're all like, it's like the same town, but it's subdivided into 4 different names. And one of them is called Red Lion. On The Hub Google page, The Hub Corner Cafe and Shine Shack. Jimmy Jack's Shine Shack. I guess they sell moonshine? I don't know. Oh, I remember why I put this place in here. The burgers look stupid. They are 10 feet tall and skinny. Damn, they look stupid. Dripping with sauce. Nachos look bad. Smoothies. It's not looking good. I don't know about this. Deviled eggs. Pepperoni on a burger. The smash burgers are looking okay, but then they have these like really tall, stupid burgers that feel very like 2011 to me. Ooh, they're like 75% bread. No. Okay, let's check out Captain Bob's Crabs. It's a pretty good name for a restaurant, I think. 4 stars. Which is not, you never want to go to a seafood restaurant with, ooh, here's a 1-star review. 1.5 pounds of large shrimp with onions. Not even close. Shrimp are small. Should have known better. They didn't even display the shrimp in their case. So oversteamed. Wow, never again. Ooh, another 1-star review. Our dozen crabs may have been steamed fresh, but not any time close to my order. We spent $95 on a dozen of tough, dry, stringy meat crabs. Our dozen hush puppies were mediocre at best, but they were $13. So they fall to 1 star as well. Wow. We got some 5-star reviews. Ooh, a lot of 1-star reviews. Hot crabs. Good crabs. Would not recommend lobster roll. Good service. Nice crabs. Excellent crabs. Excellent spelled with an A. Broadway Sub Shop is the last place we can visit in Red Lion, Pennsylvania. There were a lot of restaurants in the vicinity, but they were technically in one of the other jurisdictions. The Sub Shop, if I had to eat at any of these places, I think it would be the Sub Shop. It's still not like a place I would ever go out of my way to eat at. But, yikes. I don't know about this. What's the vibe? Let me click on the vibe tab. Oh, they just show you photos of the interior. Okay. Don't know about it. Let's move on to a TikTok video of crispy oven cauliflower, which I want to make. I have another cauliflower that I bought on sale. It's oven crispy cauliflower. I think you put cornstarch on it. Cornstarch. Sorry, I'm watching the video in real time. Ground coriander, ground fennel, ground cumin, cornstarch, salt and pepper. Mix it up. Toss with oil and cauliflower. You put it in the oven. Okay, thank you. Y2K blue. Got another. I've talked about the Y2K blue theory on here before, and from a TikTok video, and found another take on it, which I thought was interesting, or maybe not a different take, but like a parallel theory. So they say it's not a filter, which we knew. A lot of early 2000s photography looked intensely blue, but it wasn't just an aesthetic choice. It was because they were shooting slide film designed to be projected under tungsten light. When you scan that same film, especially after cross-processing, the blue intensifies. What looked like a vibe was chemistry, projection, and context colliding. Medium shifts produce blah, blah, blah. I mean, I don't know if this is a new take. Also, I'm not fact-checking any of these people. Daylight slide film, tungsten projection, cross-processing, colliding. Ooh. I used to cross-process my film in college, especially medium format cross-processing. I used to shoot all these bands on medium format. I need to get all that out because at this point it's probably interesting. At the time, probably not. But now it's nostalgic. I should probably pull those photos out. Okay. An update from Trixie and Katya's podcast, Balls in the Beautiful, which I listen to every week without fail. I might have to stop listening to them because they announced on their last episode that they hate Cool Ranch Doritos and ranch. Now, I was a ranch hater for years. Hidden Valley is not it. There are other ranches to try. I think you should explore them. And I don't understand what is so bad about Cool Ranch Doritos. I think they're delicious. And if you like Doritos, why would you not like the Cool Ranch Doritos? They didn't have a good argument for why they didn't like that flavor. I think it's excellent. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but I don't know. I think Cool Ranch Doritos are delicious. Okay, I'm watching Murder in Glitterball City. I actually finished it yesterday, which is good. It takes place in Louisville in a really beautiful historic neighborhood. It's about a gay couple. One of them is like an IT guy at University of Louisville. And the story is like which one of these guys is the murderer, because they're both blaming each other. And it's also about the drag scene in Louisville, which I've heard is great. My sister's gone to drag shows there and said that they were some of the best she's ever seen. So anyway, yeah, the big question was which guy was the murderer. And they show one of them is like into drugs and like has a record. The other guy's the IT guy who, just like big spender, big, beautiful Victorian mansion, best clothes. He drinks Voss water daily. So when I was like, yeah, which one did do the murder? Brian said, probably the one who drinks Voss water. Which, have you ever seen somebody in the wild drinking Voss water? I have not, but I think they sell it at Whole Foods. Maybe I'll start drinking it so that people stop talking to me. Okay. I just put a mystery link in and I clicked on it, and it is, what's his name? Jared Friedman? Is that his name? He's a comedian. He is currently watching Love is Blind and talking through the scenes and posting videos about it. Highly recommended. He's ripping them to shreds. This isn't an internet update. I don't know why I put this here. I just didn't know where else to put it. Question: why aren't hazelnuts eaten in savory applications? This is something that Brian and I were talking about on Saturday. He said that he's never had a hazelnut alone on its own. It's always in a sweet context. And I just seen a TikTok video about hazelnuts being used in chocolate in Italy the same way that chicory was used in coffee to stretch an ingredient when coffee or cocoa was expensive. So if people have been putting hazelnuts in chocolate in Europe for that long, it's just, is the hazelnut flavor associated with chocolate so strongly that you can't use it in a savory application, or people just aren't using it in a savory applications, especially in European cooking, which we generally eat in the US? That's my thought on hazelnuts. And then I Googled hazelnut recipes in savory applications. There's not much out there besides garnishing with hazelnut, which, okay, thanks. All right, let's get into what I ate last week, plus the Sunday that I left out from the previous week. So February 22nd, 2026, it was a Sunday, 9 a.m., counterculture coffee with half and half, Neiman Ranch bacon, scrambled eggs with Isigny butter, and baby arugula made at home. 12 p.m., shredded mozzarella and provolone, and Texas Pete hot sauce on Santita tortilla chips made at Brian's parents' house. Oreo thins at 1 p.m. 5 p.m., DiGiorno's frozen pepperoni pizza with Parmesan at Brian's parents' house. 8 p.m., Ben & Jerry's mocha mood pie sundae. Now, made this breakfast at home. I dressed the arugula by placing hot dripping bacon over it and letting the grease drip all over the arugula, which was nice. We were dog sitting again. Brian's mom left some frozen pizzas for us. She also made a chicken stew that was in like a casserole dish in the fridge, which Brian ate. He said it was strange. It was filled with shredded carrots. But I wanted to eat microwaved shredded cheese on tortilla chips, which anytime I'm in a house with those ingredients in a microwave, that's what I'm making. So that is what I ate. Then I ate probably a third of a package of Oreo Thins. I cannot be in the same building as Oreos. I really wrestled with myself to open whether or not I wanted to open this package, and it all went downhill from there. My first memory of not being in control of my eating from when I was about, 3, 4, or 5, is around Oreos and telling myself, stop eating Oreos. You need to stop, and not being able to, and continuing to open the cabinet and eat Oreos. Being so aware of it and not being able to stop myself. I cannot be around Oreos. The last time before this that I was around Oreos was when my sister made Oreo. She made a chocolate cream pie for Christmas, COVID Christmas, that I had to have in my apartment in Chicago. And I think I ate half the thing of Oreos in one day. But it was Christmas. The DiGiorno was better than I thought it would be. I have not had a DiGiorno since I was very young. It did smell like hot dogs when it cooled down. I did add a ton of shredded cheese to it, though, I will admit, and then some of the fake shake parm. Let's talk about this Ben & Jerry's Mocha Mood Pie Sundae. I'm a little bit over their weird topping. They keep making like different formats within these pints with like the topped flavors or this sundae flavor. It's weird. It's like ice cream, and then the top inch of the ice cream is actually a whipped topping. That is kind of strange. It tastes like the icing that you would get on a ice cream cake. I would actually eat a whole container of the whipped topping on its own. The ice cream itself was so full of dry ass pieces of like chocolate, whatever, chocolate brownie, chocolate, whatever this pie was supposed to be, that it was inedible to me. A cookie dough is different. These are like so dry. It's like they suck the moisture out of the ice cream. It does bring me back to when my mom, I don't know why she would do this, but this just occurred to me very recently, actually, that my mom, for some reason, couldn't, I don't know if she was sick of us or just couldn't watch us for some reason. She didn't work a job, so I don't know why she was doing this, but she would drive me and my sister when we were little to the hospital that my dad worked at and drop us off, and he would lock us in a windowless room and then go do whatever he had to do. And it was an office, so we would draw in the cell that we were in. Actually made some of our best drawings in that room. But afterwards, my mom would eventually come to pick us up and take us to the Friendlies in the lobby and get us a little mini sundae cup. And it had ice cream at the bottom and then some sort of like stabilized fudge topping. And it kind of reminded me of this. And if you're not from the Northeast, you probably don't know what Friendlies is. But it's like a sit-down Dairy Queen. So, yeah, like you could never lock a child in a room these days. You'd be arrested. That's so crazy. You just lock us in a room for hours on end. No water. I don't think he... Anyway. I was dog sitting, as I said. Let me tell you what he ate, this dog. So he usually eats these like sausage rolls of Fresh Pet that you slice off. Wow, absolutely insane. Now he's eating these single serving bags of Fresh Pet refrigerated dog food, which are like a moist kibble. Very strange. Then he has a thyroid pill, which you put in peanut butter and then spread that peanut butter on a milk bone marrow snack. used to eat dry food, but I guess he doesn't do that anymore. And then you need to cover it with Kraft singles, which Brian's parents recommend that you tear in strips so that it lasts longer for him. He likes, he could eat either one single all at once or make it last for the dog. Then I dressed his meal with about 8 slices of pepperoni and some shredded cheese. So he will not eat his food unless you dress it with shredded cheese, Kraft singles, pepperoni, etc. So that's what he's up to. Okay, February 23rd, 2026. It was a Monday. 9 a.m. Counterculture coffee with half and half made at home. 10 a.m. A bowl of bran flakes with milk. 1 p.m. Mary's Gone crackers with Cedars garlic hummus and a pour of GT's gingerberry kombucha. 6 p.m. Chicken soup with kale, arugula, yellow potatoes, carrots, celery, parmesan, Frankie's Sicilian olive oil, and Nabisco oyster crackers made at home. 7 p.m. Ben & Jerry's Dulce Delish Sundae. Okay. Mary's Gone crackers. If Brian's mom was saying them, they would be Mary's Gone crackers. These are pretty good. I've had them before. I don't know. I try and stay away from gluten-free crackers because I feel like I want the wheat. But, I don't miss the wheat when I'm eating these, I think. The gingerberry GT's kombucha. I don't know what I thought I was buying. It's blueberry. I don't know why they just don't call it blueberry ginger. It's misleading. It makes you think that there are a lot of berries. It actually just tastes like grapes. It tastes disgusting. This was a good soup. I had a couple lemons that I needed to use up. I should have used one of them in the soup. And then let's talk about this Ben & Jerry's Dulce Delish Sundae. Same format as the previous ice cream. This one was better because it didn't have a bunch of dry chunks in it. It had a dulce de leche swirl throughout. Very good. The one weird thing about it was that it had huge salt rocks in it. It felt like I was crunching my own teeth. It reminded me when I was home last summer and my dad was eating croutons and he couldn't hear us talking over the sound of his own crunching. And he said, "These croutons are too noisy." These salt rocks were too noisy. They were ridiculous. February 24th, 2026. It was a Tuesday. 8 a.m. Counterculture coffee with half and half made at home and a bowl of bran flakes with milk. 11 a.m. Mary's Gone crackers with Cedars garlic hummus and a pour of GT's gingerberry kombucha. 1:30 p.m. Marinated gigante beans, dry cured black beldi olives, and feta stuffed olives. 6 p.m. San Maruco curry croquettes with bulldog tonkatsu sauce and romaine lettuce with parmesan, black pepper, and creamy Caesar dressing made at home. 8 p.m. Ben & Jerry's mocha mood pie sundae. These San Maruco curry, they were potato curry croquettes, were insane. I need to find out where I can buy these closer to my house. They were incredible. They were small, like a McDonald's hash brown, ovular. Now, I think what helped the experience is that when I fry, I usually do it sort of free form. I don't monitor the temp. And I was like, I want to make sure that these are good. I measured the temp the whole time, cooked them at 356 degrees, like the package specified, the entire time. They were like eating a savory Krispy Kreme. They were crispy, puff, cloudy. They were amazing. And I need to eat them again. Now, there are different flavors. There is a Hokkaido snow crab cream. They have a pumpkin, vegetable, which I think is peas and carrots. They have a Hokkaido rich cheese. They have a corn, and they have a soy milk creamy. Those are the ones that I could find on the internet. Now, Brian was so obsessed with them that he told me to start texting Well, he told me to text our vegetarian listener, Miranda Winters, to tell her about this vegetarian delight. Brian went to work the next day and told everybody he worked with, which was just students, about these. And one of them, whose parents own a bakery, knew about these and said, yes, the Hokkaido cheese is my favorite. So I think it would maybe be my favorite too. Brian said he doesn't want them, so I'll be eating them alone. But these are incredible. Let me just click through. I have all these product links. San Maruko Hokkaido Snow Crab Cream Croquette. Oh my God. Crispy fried panko breadcrumb coating on the outside and a smooth, melt in your mouth, softly savory crab meat filling that bursts into a creamy pool of flavor in your mouth as soon as you bite through the crisp panko crust. It is best served as a dinner appetizer in a bento lunchbox or as an appetizer at a party. Man, these are fabulous. And I'm sure there are other croquette products that I could buy in the store and imitate this. I'm sure I could also make this, but I'm trying to think, like if I had leftover mashed potatoes, I could maybe use some flour and make them more into like a patty and then maybe freeze them and then bread them. I don't know. I like making an arancini. That's my thought. Okay, February 25th, 2026, it was a Wednesday, 7 a.m. Leftover coffee with half and half and a bowl of bran flakes with milk. 10:30 a.m. A breakfast burrito with 3 packets of WY hot sauce and coffee with half and half from 1922 by Carolina Coffee Shop in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Cake room. Apples, bananas, and oranges in a blue plastic bowl and a box of Trader Joe's Raspberry Hearts sandwich cookies. 4 p.m. A bowl of GT's gingerberry kombucha. 7 p.m. Fried rice with onions, carrots, peas, fried tofu, fish cakes made at home, and a pour of Raleigh Brewing Company Hell Yes Ma'am Belgian Strong Ale. 8 p.m. Bluebell cookie dough ice cream. The breakfast burrito that I had at Carolina Coffee Shop was probably 90% egg. It's supposed to be cheddar, hash browns, and egg. I maybe got one single shred of cheddar, maybe one little fleck of a hash brown, 90% unsalted egg. To get through this, I had to douse it with 3 packets of hot sauce. Thank God I grabbed all 3. I was sweating. This WY hot sauce is what you would find in a Chinese restaurant. I don't know why they have them. It's nice and vinegary, kind of gloopy. But come on, put some salt in the eggs. This beer that I had with dinner, this fried rice was great. I had fish cakes from the Japanese market. They were fine. They were a little loose compared to the sort of, I guess I'm used to the Korean fish cakes that you get. And they're served as a banchan cold and sort of a sweet pepper mixture sauce. I don't know what to call it. These fish cakes were a lot more thick. I mean, I sliced them, but they were a lot more not loose isn't the right word. Soft? I don't know. They were hard to slice. They had more give. Anyway, this Hell Yes Ma'am beer, what a stupid name. Awful. Tasted like olive brine. I think it was 9.2%. Disgusting. February 26, 2026. It was a Thursday. 7:30 a.m. Counterculture coffee with half and half. Made at home. 10 a.m. Leftover soup. 2 p.m. A pour of GT's gingerberry kombucha. 6 p.m. Japanese curry with ground beef, carrots, peas, and fingerling potatoes over basmati rice. Made at home. Yeah, I'm going very Japanese this week. So I added the New York Times cooking app widget to my iPhone, and now it shows me a photo of food every day, and I'm blindly obeying it. I will drop whatever I'm doing, run to the store, buy ingredients for this meal, and then eat it. I think I'm experienced cooking fatigue. Every so often I go through cooking fatigue. Even Ina Garten gets it, apparently. So I don't feel as bad. I think we all do. So I'm willing to let the bots tell me what to do and what to eat. Japanese curry came up on the widget and I said, fine, I will do it. I did have beef, which is rare now. I got 1 pound on sale. I should have checked the fat content. It was 80-20. So this Japanese curry turned out very fatty. And I didn't have the curry cubes that you're supposed to make. I should have gotten some from the Japanese grocery store, but you don't even need them, in my opinion. Okay, so let me pull up the New York Times recipe. Oh, also, while I'm doing that, I used these purple fingerling potatoes that were divine. They got so much more fluffy than the other colored fingerling potatoes. It was like eating the potato croquette all over again. And I'm not sure what happened this day, but I ended up eating soap again at the end of the night. Okay, Japanese ground beef curry by Amelia Rampe. Sorry if I'm butchering your name. Okay, 2 tablespoons of sunflower, safflower, or canola oil, 1 pound of ground beef, salt and pepper, 1 large yellow onion chopped, 1 large garlic clove minced, 1-inch piece of fresh ginger peeled and minced, 1 large carrot peeled and chopped, 1 large russet potato peeled and chopped, 1 3.2 ounce package of Japanese curry roux bricks, preferably medium hot S&B golden curry, 3/4 cup frozen peas, and then for serving, cooked rice, udon, or lo mein noodles. So I basically followed this. I did use some neutral oil, which I shouldn't have done because this beef was so fatty. I used onion, garlic, ginger, carrot. I used fingerling potatoes and cooked them whole, actually. And then, so I didn't have the curry roux bricks, so I did have to add, well, I added some curry powder in to let it cook out in the oil and bring out the flavor. It wasn't curry enough for me, so at the end I added some more garam masala. I added garam masala, and I did add flour and a little bit of sugar. I forgot. I should have added flour in the beginning, but it didn't occur to me that there is flour in the curry roux bricks. Obviously, they're called curry roux bricks. ROUX bricks, not like a rubric. RUBRICK. So that was nice. I served it with basmati rice. Did I even say that? Yeah, I did. Okay. February 27th, 2026. It was a Friday. 7 a.m. Counterculture coffee with half and half made at home and a bowl of bran flakes with milk. 9 a.m. A cup of coffee with Coffee Mate 0 sugar hazelnut creamer. 10:30 a.m. Leftover Japanese curry. 4 p.m. 2 spicy chicken tenders from Food Lion with Sonic Ranch and a pineapple flavored spindrift. 6:30 p.m. Chicken tagine with lemon cheeks and La Farm baguette made at home. The creamer situation at work is dire. We're sort of going through an office admin transition, and I don't know who's ordering the creamer anymore, the creamer cups, the Coffee Mate creamer cups. And I had to use a 0 sugar hazelnut creamer, which is disgusting. Brian's parents love this sugar-free Italian sweet cream Coffee Mate. They always have like 8 jugs of it at a time in their fridge and are always trying to convince you to put it in your coffee when they make you Dunkin' Donuts coffee over there. Which isn't terrible, but it's even worse if you put the Italian sweet cream in it. Oh, and there was a single peppermint mocha cup available, which was interesting. I got some spicy chicken tenders from Food Lion, and they were great. I had some leftover Sonic Ranch in the fridge. The Sonic Ranch, I like it because it's not drippy. It's like buttercream frosting. It's so thick you could frost a cake with it. and it's very nicely seasoned and salted. I love it. And it's not too like buttermilky like the Hidden Valley Ranch. Now, I usually do not record when I drink a Spindrift because they're like 5 calories and I consider it water. I do love a Spindrift. I try and drink them whenever I see one. Unfortunately, the Whole Foods by my office, where I do pick up stuff on the drive home from work, they don't have Spindrift for some reason. And I thought Whole Foods dropped them as a product, but I go to other Whole Foods and they have Spindrift. So I don't know what the deal is. So I don't really drink seltzer anymore because that's what I would get. But we have weird drinks in the work fridge. Pineapple Spindrift being one of them. And it's 15 calories. So I was like, I guess I will count this as something that I'm consuming. It's fine. It tastes like watered down pineapple juice in a weird way. It's not as nice as the other Spindrifts. The grapefruit one I like the best. Now, this chicken tagine recipe is, again, a New York Times Cooking forced meal. The app told me to make it and I did. But also because of the 90-day episode where the girl goes to Morocco and only eats chicken tagine. I was like, I don't know if I've ever had chicken tagine, so let me make it. I mean, I know New York Times Cooking is not authentic. It's like a quick weeknight chicken tagine. But let me pull up the recipe real quick. Read it to you. It's called Weeknight Chicken Tagine by Nargis Ben Kabu. Sorry about my pronunciation. For the chicken, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 2 large yellow onions sliced, 1 1/4 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken breasts or thighs cut into 1.5-inch pieces, half a cup of pitted Castelvetrano or Kalamata olives for serving, 2 lemons cut into wedges for serving, 1 baguette for serving. For the marinade, half a cup of vegetable or chicken stock, 2 tablespoons of olive oil plus more as needed, 1 cup finely chopped cilantro leaves and tender stems plus more for garnishing, 1 to 2 tablespoons seeded and finely chopped preserved lemon or the zest of 1 lemon, 3 garlic cloves minced or pressed, 1 teaspoon of honey or granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon of ground turmeric, 1 teaspoon of ground ginger, salt and pep. So this is supposed to be a quick weeknight meal, but I actually made this marinade and marinated the chicken the night before. And let's see. So you make the marinade, you use half of it for the chicken, and then you reserve the other half. So then the next night, I sauteed onions in olive oil. And then when those are soft, you add the other half of the marinade, the reserved half of the marinade. Reduce that a little bit, add the chicken, cook it all till it's done. And yeah, I mean, I followed this pretty closely. I forgot to buy cilantro, so I didn't have cilantro or any herb, which was kind of a bummer. But I did have these preserved Beldy lemons, which I got on sale. They're pretty gross. I've made preserved lemons in the past, particularly once or twice. I remember the first time I made them was with Brian because we were entering this Arts of Life, which is a nonprofit in Chicago. They have a chili contest every year. Well, I don't think they do it now that COVID happened. But we wanted to enter the chili making contest. We made a Moroccan lamb chili. I mean, we did everything from scratch, like dried and roasted the chilies. Like it took us like 3 days to make this. And I thought it was delicious. I think we got second. I think we got runner up. But we made preserved lemons. And I think that the preserved lemons that we made were far superior to what was in this jar that I bought. It felt like a ghost. It felt like something in formaldehyde. It was disgusting and like pale and weird. Also, at this chili cook-off contest, Brian wore a 90s Wendy's uniform, so I can't believe we lost just based on that. I wore a 90s Chili's shirt that had like a Chili's, like the restaurant character on it. I should start wearing that again. I do lament that I work in an office now and can't wear all my fun clothes. Let me talk about this baguette really quickly. So La Farm, it's like a nice bakery around here. This baguette was double the price of the Whole Foods store baguette. But, I mean, what a ripoff. It tasted like, you know, that like cheap, normal Italian bread that you get from a grocery store, just like white bread in a loaf shape. That's what it tasted like. No fermentation, nothing special about it. I was complaining to Brian about it, and he said, geez, for that price, like it's organic though, right? The flour must be organic. No, we're paying double to eat Roundup. So I will not be buying from them again. February 28th, 2026. It was a Saturday, 9 a.m. Counterculture coffee with half and half, made at home, and leftover Japanese curry with La Farm baguette. 2 p.m. Half of a soft pretzel with beer cheese and spicy mustard, and a Wolkenbräu lager from Clouds Brewing in Durham, North Carolina. 4 p.m. A Ballad Brewing Kolsch, stinging garlic wings, Hakka wings, and garlic and Parmesan fries with curry sauce and ranch at Bull McCabe's in Durham. 7:30 p.m. La Farm baguette with Isigny butter. Now, the people of Reddit recommended Clouds as a place that has the best soft pretzel. I've been wanting a soft pretzel for a long time now. I've been talking about that stuffed pretzel place, Crofton's, based in Wilmington. They now have a Raleigh location. But the people are saying that their regular pretzel is not actually good. So if that's not good, why bother? So Clouds Brewing was recommended. Only breweries were recommended. There was a place in Apex called Tap Station, I think, that looked like it actually had pretty good food. And Flying Saucer Brewing in Raleigh. Now, I don't love going to a brewery, but that's where the soft pretzels are. I would rather go to a German beer hall, but those are few and far between down here. So Clouds Brewing has a Durham location and a Raleigh location. Went to the Durham location. You know, it's a place that you don't want to be at, that I don't want to be at. It feels like a place where they would go on Love is Blind to meet up with everybody for the first time. You know, like some brewery downtown that just launched with arcade games and board games all over the place. I got to say, the pretzel was great. It was soft. It was buttery. You could tell they brushed it with butter. It was served on a banana tree type thing. It looked like it was a dead animal being dried out for production. The beer cheese was excellent. Sometimes beer cheese is bitter. This was divine. The spicy mustard was good. It was a good spicy mustard. And I always expect the worst when I'm about to drink a German beer from an American brewery. These German beers were nice and dry. I tasted a few. I think I tasted the Hells and one of the Pilsners. Ended up getting the lager. I just wanted something low ABV because it was 2 p.m. And yeah, they were all pretty nice and dry. You know, not the best I've ever had, but decent. I do miss Dovetail Brewing in Chicago. When I worked at Talia Hall, Deus Ex. Deus Ex is a beer bar, so we used to go on brewery tours as part of our professional development. I'm using air quotes. And I did a tour of Dovetail. They're on the north side of Chicago, and they imported old German beer making equipment to make all their beer. And they do a really good job of recreating German beer in the U.S., I think. When we first moved here, anytime anyone would visit and would ask, do you want something from Chicago? Brian would say, bring Dovetail beer, please. And Bull McCabe's, I got to say, this is an underrated food spot. When you go to their Google Maps page, I don't know what to call it. When you look them up on Google Maps, there are no photos of food. It's like big screens and college students, Duke students. It doesn't really seem like a food place, but I'm going to say that it really is. The wings were great. The stinging garlic was great. Everything was great. Even the ranch was great. I mean, they probably don't make it. So they have Tanderm Kitchen, which is an offshoot of a restaurant nearby called Viceroy that does like Indian pub food. Kind of reminds me of Pub Royale in Chicago, which is closed now. Tanderm Kitchen, which I think is a play on the word tandoori in Durham, but they have a really good menu. They have wings with a lot of different options. The haka was like a fermented black bean. Stinging garlic, that was good. They have a burger on flatbread. They have smash burger, chips and curry, falafel and hummus, street nachos. I should have gotten the queso. I don't know what I was thinking. Bombay Bell, Bhel, puffed rice, and sev, in parentheses, chickpea flour crunchies mixed with onions and tomato and tossed with mint and tamarind chutneys. That sounded great, but I wasn't sure how to eat that. Beef samosas, pierogies with Asian chili oil, the spicy queso dip, should have got that. Grilled peach salad, I don't know. Naan mi. Instead of banh mi, it's naan mi. Grilled tandoori chicken or paneer sauteed with onions and peppers and served on naan. Keema pav. Fried fish tacos. Why are you doing that? Fried chicken katsu sandwich. I mean, they have a really good menu. They have some soups. They have tinga. They have a kids menu. I don't know. I would go back here for bar food alone, to be honest, and try more things. Okay. Can I finish the day? Oh, also this beer that this Kolsch from Ballad Brewing was fine. They're from Danville, Virginia, which is kind of close to me. I looked them up on Google and they are temporarily closed, so I don't know what happened. March 1st, 2026, it was a Sunday, 9 a.m., counterculture coffee with half and half, scrambled eggs, and a slice of Neiman Ranch bacon made at home. 12:30 p.m., prosciutto, black pepper croccantini, Marin petite truffle triple cream brie, and assorted leftover cheeses. 6 p.m., Screamin' Sicilian, thin and crispy frozen pepperoni pizza with sriracha. This Marin cheese, I got it on sale at Whole Foods. What a waste. It didn't ooze. I left it at room temp for a while and it just stayed as a solid block. Good flavor. Would never buy it again. And I do have to run to a meeting in 5 minutes, so I'm going to end it there. Thank you for being here. Goodbye.